It's definitely not every day that you come across a scale 500 model of a Virgin Atlantic A330, but recently I was so lucky to actually find one and I managed to purchase it. But was it worth the hunt? Well, we'll find out after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A330-300 of Virgin Atlantic. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and underneath that we have the Virgin Atlantic branding. Then on the back side of the box we don't get much other than the Sky 500 logo and the specification that it is a Virgin Atlantic A330. Still, this is a way better box design than anything Herpa has to offer these days. And here she is, the Airbus A330-300 in the current standard livery of Virgin Atlantic. The aircraft model was created by Sky 500 in 2011, so 10 years ago, and yet I would argue that this aircraft model very easily can compete with anything that Herpa is throwing onto the market today. But the best way to see if this claim actually is correct, well, is by taking a closer look at the aircraft model itself. And as always, we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the Virgin Atlantic branding. On top of the stabilizer we then have the last two letters of the registration code. The full registration code can be found on the fuselage, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the writing of Virgin Atlantic, and underneath that we find the aircraft type specification, but we do also find some lovely detailing with static ports and small hatches here and there. A few sensors as well have been thrown into the mix. Very lovely work. And of course between the front cabin door and the cockpit windows we have this pin-up girl, also known as the Lady Scarlet, which carries the Union Jack. Underneath that we have the name of the aircraft. And then the cockpit section itself, well, that offers us the cockpit windows with the window wipers that have been printed on. From there we can move on to the engine nacelles, which have been kept in this dark Virgin Atlantic red, but offers us quite the detailing because we have loads of small hatches and markings, the silver leading edge, and of course also the Rolls-Royce branding. And also the physical detailing is, I think, of a very high standard. For example, here when we look into the engines from the front, very nicely you can see the engine fan blades. From the engines we can move on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We have some different shades of grey for additional detailing, as well as the marking as to where to walk on the wing. Very nice. Then the underside, again, some nice physical detailing, and also here the full registration code of the aircraft once again. And of course the wings also have winglets, which I think Sky 500 also has executed rather well. On the underside we also find the Virgin Atlantic branding. Then the landing gear, that is the standard landing gear that Sky 500 uses for all their Airbus A330s, and overall I think that looks pretty decent, but I do actually miss a bit of printed detailing around the front landing gear. But we are somewhat being compensated for the missing detail of the front landing gear when we look here at the belly of the aircraft, where we can see Virgin Atlantic has been written on across. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments, and here Sky 500 really does have put in some effort, because these doors actually look rather nicely detailed both at the back of the aircraft and of course also at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A330-300 in the current livery of Virgin Atlantic from Sky 500 in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? To talk about near perfection would perhaps be a bit much, but this is a seriously good aircraft model. In fact, I would say there are only two things missing for my taste. Perhaps the landing lights and some printed details around the front landing gear could have improved the aircraft even further, but it is a very good aircraft model, and remember, it was made 10 years ago and can still easily compete with anything that Herpa throws to the market today. Indeed, the biggest problem the model has is that it is very rare, and it is even more rare that it actually shows up anywhere where you can buy it. But should you ever be so lucky to come across it, I would not hesitate to say absolutely it is worth having in one's collection. Now with that we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.